Yeah, we've been waiting for this for a while,
sir.
man. Dusty Baker here in studio with us. Baker Family Wines. We're going to be out there on Sunday watching football, playing games, drinking wine. Chick, the winemaker, is here.
Man.
So we're going to have a conversation about how all of this, because you've told me and KC the story before about Dusty just reached out saying, hey, I want to make wine.
Well, that's how it started.
Yeah.
He was what I call a consumer brand ambassador at Woodbridge Winery, and he has a different part of the story there. But anyway, he reached out to me a couple of years later and said, "Hey, I want to put a vineyard in on my property." And I said, "Well, why?" You know, it was one of those things. And he says, "Well, because I couldn't put a bass pond on the property because
I was gonna, but they said I'd flood my neighbor.
He flood his neighbors. So okay, the vineyard's the next best thing. So and then what variety did you want to?
I wanted Cabernet.
And why did you want Cabernet?
Well, that's what I like to drink.
Yeah. And what did I tell you?
He told me I couldn't have it because it's too hot in Sacramento.
Yeah. So if you wanted, it's remember, this whole sack tomato kind of thing,
That's what they used to call it, sack of tomatoes.
Sack of tomato. And that's what his Cabernet would have tasted like.
Yeah.
So what did I tell you we were going to plant?
He told me we were going to plant Syrah.
Yeah.
And see what happened. I was on the Mondavi advisory staff.
Okay.
And so I would go to different lunches and dinners around the country with my coaching staff.
Mm.
And they pay me like pretty good money to go to dinner. And then they'd give me 2 cases of wine a month, from all of their, Francisco Baldi, from all the ones that they had.
Deal right there.
Oh, a heck of a deal.
It's good. It's a better deal than I had. Working every day for that.
And then my coaches, they would give them, per dinner. And then they give them a case of wine a month. So this is how I got started. And next thing I know, there was a brother named Rodney Williams. And so
and I were good friends.
Yeah. And Rodney was a brother who picked out all my wines every month. And so he really taught me about the different wines, the expensive from the not expensive. And so and he always picked out the expensive for me. and so I'm the one that asked Rodney, I said, Rodney, can you line me up with the dude that can teach me everything about about growing grapes, putting in the wires and the irrigation and everything. And this was when I was building a house, and it says in the Bible, plant your crops and vineyards, before you move in the house. And that makes sense because you have something to eat.
Yeah.
While you're building your house versus you build your house, you ain't got nothing to eat. And so that's how I got started. Chick, he helped me. I mean, he's been teaching me everything. The sunny side, the grapes on this side, the north side, the shaded side. And so when to turn the water on, when not to turn the water on. The only thing is, see, he likes it when I'm home and out of a job.
Oh yeah,
you can tell me
when you're out of a job.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I've been out of a job 3 or 4 times. Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't be on 5 teams if you weren't out of a job.
But we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah,
you were out of a job, but you were like signed immediately. We were trying.
No,
to
I wasn't signed immediately
because you went from the Giants to the Cubs.
No, that was immediately,
and then Cubs to Reds was immediately. Wasn't
no,
it?
that was 2 years. I had a 2-year break. Yeah, and then between
that's 2 years of my life in that vineyard.
Yeah, exactly. Because he would tell me what to do, and I'd be out there working in that hot sun in Sacramento. So like everywhere I went, other than the Cub job, my phone didn't ring at all.
Really? It felt like it was. It felt like it was back to back.
Well, it felt like it, yeah, but it wasn't.
I wasn't the one sitting at home either.
Yeah, exactly. But I wasn't exactly sitting around.
Yeah.
Like I'm always do something. My daddy told me, hey son, you gotta stay busy, and you gotta show people that you can do more than just play ball. And so my dad had rent houses. My dad worked 2 jobs for 36 years. He worked at McClellan and Sears, and my mom worked and went to school. And so my parents, they didn't like you just sitting around doing nothing, because anytime I told my dad I didn't have nothing to do, he made me go pull some weeds.
You're gonna find something for you to do.
Yeah, and I hear about those weeds all the time.
I hate weeds to this day.
So I don't know what 5-6 years elapsed, and Dusty says, "Hey, let's form a company." And
I said no. First, before the company, you know, I was with Jerry Royster, Jerry Manuel, Roland Office. All the brothers would get together every year.
Yeah.
And so we bottled our first.
Oh yeah,
our first bottles of wine.
Okay.
And it was they're called shiners. I mean, it's not like moonshine, but it's kind of like moonshine because it's not legal yet. And so I was marking them. Hey man, we got this, we got that.
Mhm.
And then
Keep talking. I'm gonna pull this close.
Yeah,
Keep
there you
talking.
go. And so you know, the brothers all told me, hey man, this tastes pretty good. I said, really?
Yeah.
And I said, in our agreement,
They'd want to buy it too.
Yeah.
They'd
but-
want to buy it.
Yeah,
and
we couldn't
Dusty
sell
go-
it.
We couldn't sell it.
right.
So Dusty would say, well, here, have another bottle.
I just give it to you.
But no, we want to buy it.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, then that's how we got started. And then our agreement was we weren't going to necessarily deal with quantity; we were going to deal with quality. And I don't want anybody saying, "Hey, man, because I had some Johnny Bench Scotch years ago. Usually, I don't say the name. And
I was
it
going to say,
dude, it was the worst. And I'm a Scotch drinker.
Okay.
Also, and it was the worst stuff. I took one sip and I told Chick, I said, man, don't you put my name on something that people are gonna be talking stuff on me, you know.
How long did it take for you to get it to your quality, to your satisfaction of the taste? Was it, you know, sometimes of experimenting with what you wanted to taste
not
like?
long.
no, not long. You know, and I think from a winemaker standpoint, we take a look at each individual lot, and we look at it for its merits and where the wine is sort of telling us where it wants to go so that we can blend it optimally. Because as Dusty says, we're not going to put anything with his name on it that is less than quality. I mean, yeah, we could probably produce a wine out there for $10 a bottle, but it's not going to be the good quality that it is.
Right.
And so we look at it, and you know, the other person in the picture here is Polly, my wife, and she you know, she and I will just sit down, and then we'll go ahead and we'll blend the wines, and then we bring in, you know, Dusty here, and then he'll always ask us what this is, and we just won't tell him.
Hey, man. It's a quiz, and he makes me like
Quiz. It's the whole education part.
Yeah, and I'm usually 80% right, so I give myself a B.
Yeah.
And guessing what it is.
Yeah, and then so you know, so really it's the quality behind the bottle,
Right.
or it's quality in the bottle, and that's really what our mantra is. And so 2012 is when we started the company in San Francisco on Treasure Island. We moved the company to West Sacramento in 2019ish or something like
Best
that.
decision you ever made. Brought it back to Sacramento.
We brought it back to Sacramento.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives right around the corner, and I live right across the river. So it just sort of made a lot of sense. You cannot shorten up 90 miles.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
And especially with the
No,
traffic getting worse every
Worse by the
day.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, and so that's where we brought it. We produce and bottle everything in West Sacramento on Industrial Boulevard. It is truly a craft-oriented winery. Every bottle, and when he's in town, he's helping to bottle. I mean, he's helping any chance he can get. Every bottle is touched by a human. I mean, there's no automation here. I mean, it is just us just putting together our heart and soul.
The only thing is, see, my wife, she told me she ain't gonna drink any if I put my feet on them. He didn't say.
By the way,
So
you
you
guys
got
are off
it.
the hook this weekend
I was about to say, so
there's no fruit for co-jam led. Okay,
Chick was trying to get us to squash grapes this weekend out at
no, the fruit's all done. We brought it
out of Baker Family Wines. For those watching or listening, we're drinking a 2022 Pinot Noir here from Baker Family Wines. You can pick these up at the Nugget in Granite Bay has them. We're going to get a list of all of the Nuggets that carry them so we can tell you exactly where to go. Look for that familiar baseball stitch right here in the Baker Family Wines logo. I can tell you one thing, Dusty, we talking about how important it was when you put your name on something and you're involved in something, you own a company. There's a lot of, like, one of the things is spirits. And like Total Wine gets fooled by this. There's a lot of companies that get fooled by Black owned labels. when they're not Black-owned labels. They're brands that slapped E40's name on it and gave him equity in it. And now people think that that's E40's line of Prosecco, or it's Snoop Dogg's line of whatever, or like people for years up until a year ago thought Puff owned Ciroc.
Right.
All of these companies above own these. So knowing that it's Dusty Baker behind Baker Family Wines is a big deal to a lot of us.
And it's also, Hank Aaron's one of our partners.
Come on, that's
exactly.
the one too.
There you go.
That's the one.
There you
right
go.
there.
Yeah. See, and I took Hank and Mr. Moorhead. He's the largest exotic car dealer in America on the East Coast.
Wow.
And so, like, I took him to Opus One, and then Hank goes, "Hey, man, I want to be part of your company." I'm like, "Man, I don't need that pressure because I don't know how I can pay you back, or when I can pay you back."
Yeah.
He told me, "Don't worry about it." And then I'm like, "I can't do it." And then he says, "Look, boy," and see, when he called me, you know that voice. Look,
I've
boy.
heard that once or twice.
Yeah, and he says, "Look, I'm gonna give you some money. I'm gonna make you take me as part of your company." And I says, "Okay," but I says, "What's the stipulation?" Because I know him. And he goes, "Stipulation is you gotta make me a bold Cabernet Sauvignon." And so then I went to Chick. I said, "Hey, man, look, the Hammer." He said he got to be part of our company.
And he brought it to me in September.
Right.
We really had to pull that one out of our, out of our hat.
Hey, and then not only that, it was the labeling that MLB wouldn't give us, permission for, put the arrow on the Braves on the side, right?
Really?
Yeah. No, we've got permission from MLB because the actual, is it the arrow? No, it's the feather.
Right.
Yeah, it's the feather that actually is trademarked by MLB, and Hank and the family didn't mind, and the Braves didn't mind, but we had to go to MLB for permission.
They didn't give any. Come on, it's Dusty Baker with Hank Aaron. They didn't get no kind of push.
No. There's no. In the end, MLB was very gracious, and they said, for everything that Hank has done for MLB, for Dusty, that's everything that's done, for MLB. It was just, sort of, hey, let's do it.
Absolutely.
Let's make it.
It was good.
Let's make it happen. And it's a wonderful wine.
Right.
So,
I'm a cab guy too, so I'm excited to open that bottle.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm like Dusty. I like those dark, rich cabs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. And that particular Cabernet, it's a little bit different because it's more of an old world Cabernet. So I know that a lot of people love Napa Cabernet. This one's actually coming out of really high elevation vineyard in the Sierra foothills. So it's about 2,500 foot elevation. So and the soils sort of they're volcanic soils, but it's warm by day and it's cool by night, just like it is in Bordeaux, where the Cabernets actually have originated in the world there.
See, that's why I like my partner, because when he mentions all these places, he's been there, and he's taking students like every summer to France and Italy and all these places.
Well, I can take adults there too.
Thank you, man.
There you go. Come on, Casey. There you go.
he was head of viticulture at UC Davis.
Well, I wasn't the head. I
ran
the winery there. Okay.
Okay, come on now. That's what I'm telling people.
He walked into the place one day and he goes, "You run this place?"
Yeah.
And then you look at our little, winery in West Sacramento, and it's like,
it's okay.
We're comfortable.
It's ours.
It's old world.
Let's talk about that real quick, because obviously when you think wine, you think California, you're thinking Napa. Now you're thinking Lodi, because Lodi is buzzing right now. Having it in West Sacramento, why was that so important for you guys to have it there? Because to me, as somebody that lives, close to that area, lives in Elk Grove, not far from it, that is a major.
Well, but honestly, we try to get in Sacramento first, and there was a bunch of red tape and a bunch of stuff that we had to man, this is too much. And then we met some people from West Sac, and they were like, "Come on in," and I was like, "Really?" And I said, "When?" They said, "Tomorrow." I said, "Tomorrow," because the other, my hometown of Sacramento, I mean, they were like 6 months or 3 months.
And it was like,
and
I called him and I said,
Cost
how
a
well
lot
do
of
you
money.
know this person? And he goes, it'll cost me $1 million if I do that.
Yeah, you crazy. Thank you. So sometimes you got to go with, what you know.
Yeah.
And so this is,
But
that's why we chose West Sac. But West Sac, I've gotten lost because when I was a kid, you didn't really go to West Sac. And then I got lost one day in West Sac when I was looking around, and man, I was like, man, West Sac is booming out there.
It is.
And,
It is.
Some of those houses on that back canal back there, the Deepwater Channel, and the horses, and I was like, man, this is really changed from when I was here.
Absolutely. So, it's really cool that you guys are in West Sacramento, though. That's, like I said, you talk about wine tasting and having a nice experience. Usually, I got to go to Napa or I got to go even out to Love. Nah, it's right there. It's right there in West Sac, man, centrally located. Whether you're talking about Elk Grove, whether you're talking about Rockland, whether you're talking about Rancho, whatever. This doesn't take long to get to West Sac and get the Baker family wines.
That's what I love about Sac. I love the proximity of everything. Mm-hmm. I've told people that guys ask me, why Sac? Because, here's a guy from, jump off Oklahoma and he cracking on Sac. And I said, man, how you going to crack on Sac? I said, you ain't never been there. I said, man, we're just halfway between Lake Tahoe and San Francisco.
Right. Yeah, in fact, the other day,
Napa right there,
Reverend Chris from Phoenix, Arizona, I'm just going to give him a plug because you brought that up. He actually watches this podcast, so he might be watching right now. He came in and he said, well, I said, how did you hear about this? And he says, oh, I heard some podcasts. And I said, was it D-Lo and Casey? And he goes, yeah, I think that's who it was.
That's terrific. Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I think that's who it was.
I'll take the plug.
I'll take it.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Casey and I, you were talking about Hammer and Hank Aaron earlier. And Casey and I were just marveling at how many epic Major League Baseball moments you've been a part of. And one of them was 7-15. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
You were.
I was there 7-14, 15, 11, a whole bunch of them. And I didn't know how fortunate I was to be a young player. To be with the Braves at the time, because there was I prayed the night for the draft that I didn't get drafted by the Atlanta Braves, because that was the epicenter of civil rights, and they had all kind of like trouble in the South and bringing out dogs and horses and
Jim Crow.
Yeah, Jim Crow and the Klan and fire hoses. And I was like, Lord, please, I don't want to go to the South. And Hank, I did get drafted by the Braves, and I said, Lord, you didn't hear me. And so, but Hank Aaron promised my mom that he would take care of me as if I was his son. But that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because at that time you go down there, like I met Ted Abernathy and to this day, the Ambassador Andrew Young, and Jesse Jackson. I mean, you name them. I met them all. Herman Russell. I met them all through Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like their little son that they were schooling, and it really helped because my mom was going to school at the time. She was at Sac City and Sac State studying Black history, and then she ended up being an African studies teacher at Sac City. So this kind of like brought a lot of things to fruition. Yeah. A lot of the books my mother made me read. Yeah. Berkeley Carmichael, Nature Brown, Malcolm X, and then you name them, I read them all.
Brought it full circle.
Brought it full circle, and you really understood, what the struggle was all about at that time, and to see so many prosperous Black people at that time was so refreshing. And then where I ate lunch, Ralph Garr and myself, at the Busy Bee, and it was right at the bottom of all the Black colleges, Morehouse, Morris Brown, Clark, Spelman. I mean, we were there like every day. Yeah. And you just sort of take these things for granted until you go someplace else, and then you like, hey man, this is one of the best things that happened to me.
That's one of the cool things about Atlanta. Being here from California and Sacramento, it's diverse, but the the professionals and the high level professionals that you see in a place in Atlanta that look
True
like
that.
you is when you see it for the first time, it's awe-inspiring. It's like,
Right.
wow, like this guy, he owns this this dental.
Hey man, I went in
office or
some of the
something like
houses
that.
and they had like 2 or 3 color TVs, and my mom didn't even have a color TV. And I think we're from California, and I was like, I got my mom's first color TV when I was on a post game show. I hit a home run against Chicago Cubs. I thought that was the biggest thing on earth. like, hey mom, I got you a color TV, you know. And I go in some of these houses, they had 3 and 4 and 5 color TVs, a Mercedes outside, and I was like, dang man, somebody been lying to me.
All those black professionals, like you said, the universities that are there, the HBCUs that are there too,
Yeah.
and the professors, the presidents of the universities that look just
well,
like
and it helped because my roommate Ralph Garr went to Grambling, and so I go to Grambling every year to pick up Ralph, and then we drive to Florida, and I drop him off on the way back, and then I met a pretty little girl. I met Ralph's girlfriend's younger sister. You know, you always go for the baby sister. And so that, you know, that's who I end up marrying. But I mean, I went to Grambling, you know, I'd never seen that many, you know, pretty little sisters in my, you know, not in one place at one time.
Ralph, you never told me that.
I didn't tell you that.
No, Ralph never told me that either.
Well, we say none of your business.
Oh man! So look, I wanted to ask Dusty real quick because D'Lo saw me today and he saw me in my Giants gear and he's like, "Oh, pandering to Dusty, pandering to." But the story is, every time I see Dusty at either here or at a Kings game, I'm like, "Dusty, you my man. You like Unc to me, man." And I'm a big Giants fan. And
my son love you.
Yeah, that's my boy too. That's my boy. Shout out Darren. But I'm like, yeah, I'm a big Giants fan, man. I grew up under you, Dusty, man. He'd be like, yeah, with that Yankees hat on, right? Or a Reds hat. And I said, Dusty, today.
Now you got the upside down one.
Yeah. I got the Giants gear on right here, man. But one of the great stats that I remember from your era with the Giants, obviously you had 93, and that was epic. In 94, I thought you guys were going to make a push with Matt Williams and everything before the strike hit. But then you had 95, 96. Once you got to 97, to 2002, I think I saw somewhere you guys played like only 12 games that quote didn't matter. Like you were either in the race or leading or anything. And the year that it didn't matter, quote unquote, was 99, which was special because it was the last year of the stick. So that's just a testament to your era of Giants managing that lives with us forever, lives with the franchise, lives with fans like me forever. How exciting was that time as you with you as a Giants manager?
To see us go from the bottom to the top and then stay on top for a period of time. That's the hardest thing to do, is stay on top, because you know people shooting at you and you're drafting low,
right?
You know, like some teams draft number 1 or 2 every year for 10 years and still can't figure it out, you know. And so like scouting is so very, very important. You know, the mindset of the organization, you know, like your organizational philosophy and theory, and the fact that, hey son, you know, you're here with us, but hey man, you better come with it, and we come to win.
Right.
You know, I mean
this
is something, this is something that we instill from the time they first get there, you know. And what's so great about it is that me as a manager, I didn't have to do it all the time, or my coaches. I had players that would take care of it. You know, Barry Bonds, Will Clark, Robbie Thompson, Willie McGee. I mean, one of my big time, and you know, when I think about the great players that I had during that time, players and pitchers, I mean, guys that you know, I could depend on, and there's nothing better than the feeling that, you know, you can trust a guy.
Yeah.
You know, under this situation, he may not come through, but I know he ain't scared. Because see, you'd be surprised. There's a lot of cats out there that get scared, and so I'd rather have a young, brave dude that ain't that good than I would a old, great player that's scared. And so, like, you know, when I look back, I had Ellis Burks and you know, Kenny Lofton and Jeff Kent. Jeff Kent, one of the most underrated dudes, Richard Rea. And then I had the youngsters coming up like you know, Royce Clayton and Darren Lewis, who my son named after. Yeah.
Really?
And Matty, Matty's he's called a big Marine, because he was like, he was about taking care.
Business.
Oh,
no nonsense.
Oh yeah. Cause I tell you a story. One day Matt Williams was a rookie, and Kevin, he's from San Diego.
Oh yeah. That was my first favorite player.
Oh, dude, I love Kevin Mitchell.
Boy. That was my first favorite
player.
Yeah.
And so like when I was a kid coming up, I'd get to the cage first, and then Hank Aaron say, "Hey man, look," and then Rico Cartier, look. And at the end of the day, I hit last, even though I was at the cage first. This is what happened.
Yeah.
And so Mitch was practicing that same thing. So he told Matty, he said, "Hey man, you gotta wait." And Matty said, "Well, I was here first." And he goes, "Hey man, I'll break your frame if you don't get out here." And so I swear. So he got out of there. And so I was a batting coach. And so Mitch said, meet me at the batting cage. I said, "Oh Lord, I gotta go referee with these two big old bulls in here." So I get there. Matty's waiting on. And Mitch come down there, and Mitch like, "Oh, you showed up?" And Matty said, "Yeah, man, you told me to come down here." And so Mitch goes, "Man, I like you." And like you call the dude's bluff.
Yeah.
And they became best friends. So I said, "Matty, come here, man." I said, "Dude, I know you had to be a little scared." He goes, "Man, I was scared to death." But he said, "Man, I had to go get my ass whooping." That's what he said. And so he had mad respect from from everybody from the time he was a little rookie.
Yeah. Man.
Can we steal a little bit more of your time? Can you guys hang out a little bit longer? Yeah, because we haven't even scratched the surface.
I ain't got nothing to do except go on clean the garage.
In that case,
if Mrs. Baker's listening, no, we're gonna need Dusty. We're gonna need Dusty for a little bit. So don't see Dusty just like everybody else. He's trying to avoid the choices. Yeah, just like us.
Working, man.
We'll come back. We've got a lot more to talk about with Dusty and Chick. We're gonna be at Baker Family Wines this Sunday at 1:00. We're gonna be watching football. We're gonna be sipping wine. Dusty's gonna be out there with us. It's gonna be a great time. 1:00 this Sunday. We'll come back more with Dusty Baker here on Sacramento Sports Leader ESPN 1320.
Tell me if I'm going too long.
No such thing. No such thing.
Hey man, yesterday I was picking up.
I mean, we're still on.
We're on the street.
Yeah, we're on the street.
We're on the
street.
street.
We're on the street.
I was picking up some of the coaches from the Astros because they're like calling me now Tuve, and some of them say, "Man, come get me, man," because they were off yesterday.
Yeah,
and they're in town, so I went and got them. Me and my other buddy, a couple cars. So, I get down there, and they're like, "Hey, Dusty, man, we're gonna go out to your house." I said, "Well, come on, dudes."
Yeah.
So I put them in the car. We got some, some Italian food.
Okay.
Oh yeah, man. We had a
Had a nice little feast.
Oh man, it was great. To be with the fellas. And also,
let's do it
in an environment where I'm not necessarily the manager.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like going to a bar with your.
Just with your guys,
yeah,
just hanging out, man, just talking, shooting the shit. Yeah, that team, because obviously you got to them after the cheating scandal or whatever, and I ended up really, really liking that team because what I saw, and I think you instilled this in them, is they were pissed off that everybody thought their success was because of some cheating, and they said, "No, we're legit," and they took pride in that. And the COVID year that you guys didn't get it, I saw them really push, like they really had a point to prove, like, no, this ain't got nothing to do. We're really that good.
But the thing was, this is what people don't understand. See, there was only, when I got there was only 2 or 3 dudes that were still on the team. And so that's why I said, man, were they booing the person or were they booing the uniform?
Right.
And so we can talk about that. Made it easier on me. People don't, how'd you do it? Number one, it was a COVID year. Now, in spring training, they were wearing us out.
Yeah, they couldn't wait.
I'm telling you, man, they were wearing us out. Yeah. And so now we got to go home. When we come back, with no fans. With nothing but cutouts.
Right.
I mean, I had my dog and Darren and my 2 grandsons
right there behind in the cutout, behind the dugout.
I wait till every day.
But man, I really like that. They were so driven to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
And then when they actually won the title, I'm a Giants fan, but I wanted you to win. But I just really like that team and their mentality that they took.
Hey, man.
They were pissed off.
Plus, that was the best team I inherited. See, every other team I inherited was either at the bottom or close to the bottom. And see,
For your mom.
thank you. And see,
Ooh,
when you bring a team from the
that's
bottom,
the first time I've had it. That's really good.
Okay.
and then you get
Great
close,
summer wine.
and then you end up,
Probably put that on special this
you know,
weekend.
then you end up
Okay.
getting blamed for not taking them all the way. And especially when you're African American manager, man, it's different on us than it is most people. You know, I was winning 95, 97 games, getting fired. There's other dudes losing 90-something games, and
That's across sports.
it sure is.
It always has been.
I always think back, obviously the middle teams. I always think back to those the Cubs, Reds, and Nationals.
Yeah.
I was like, do you guys know where you were before Dusty got there?
I know. But you know, somebody asked Al Laddles. I mean, he and Bill Walsh were my mentors when I started coaching and managing. And I asked Al Laddles, because I met Al at the Squaw Valley Warriors basketball camp where I got the MVP in 1966.
There we go. Let him know.
Oh, yeah.
Let him know.
And so that's why I met Al.
Uh-huh.
So I asked Al, I said, man, how come they don't load me up like they do some of the other guys? And he said, no, man. He says, you know, why load you up when you can do more with less? Save payroll, putting some in their pocket, and then when you don't win, they got somebody to blame. And he wasn't lying.
Yeah,
that's what happened. So
that Astros team.
We hear Casey. Hang on.
Yeah.
All right, Dusty Baker hanging out here in the studio with us. The winemaker chick here with us as well. We're going to be at Baker Family Wines this Sunday. We'll hope you'll come hang out with us. The 49ers are going to be playing football. We got the Chiefs and the Ravens that afternoon. We're going to get there at 1 o'clock. We're going to be drinking wine. Chick has promised some surprises. Apparently, me and Casey got some competitions going on this weekend. Apparently, got some competitions going on.
I don't know about this yet.
It's all a surprise.
And Dusty's going to be out there with us as well.
How do you do beer pong?
Well, we're gonna figure it out. I was just gonna make sure.
You will.
I was gonna make sure. I got to make sure not to wear white, right?
Oh no.
Oh well.
No. Don't wear white.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
man,
that's like wearing white to an Italian restaurant.
I wear
a little pasta.
I'll be ready.
It's all fun games.
We have a very regular conversation on this show, and there is no better person to ask than you. Who is the greatest baseball player you've ever seen?
Oh man. Well, the greatest one I ever had on my team is Barry Bonds. But boy, I gotta go with Hank Aaron since I played with him. But I mean, it's hard to beat Willie Mays too.
Those are the two we always land on. Barry.
I'm just telling you, because Willie, Hank made everything look easy. Willie made everything look exciting. And I mean, Willie was probably faster, probably threw harder. Both of them were geniuses on the baseball field, including Barry. You know, they saw things that most people didn't see, or if they saw it, it was too late. And so, you know, those three guys. And I tell you who's in there in that group that most people don't realize was Reggie Smith. Because Reggie Smith was one of the baddest boys, you know, that I played with. And I mean, he was fierce, man. Switch hit, could run, had a cannon. And you know, you didn't want to, you know, we'd get in a scuffle with somebody and I look for his back. I just feel around a little bit for his back. I know, oh yeah, come on.
We good now.
Oh, I'm real good.
But they're good. I'm talking crazy.
Ain't nobody gonna hit me in the back of my head, I tell you that.
I'm 42, so obviously I didn't see Willie, didn't see Hank. I studied as much as I could, but I watched all of Barry's career, and it's an impossible conversation to have.
Yes, it is.
I can't imagine, and it could be the case. but I can't imagine a baseball player being better than Barry Bonds. He was the quintessential 5-tool guy.
But it's kind of like, I remember when they was trying to figure out who the best boxer of all time was.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had these fake boxing matches. I don't know if you all ever saw it. He had Joe Louis facing
Muhammad Ali.
And it's like, how do you compare greatness of generations?
Right.
Right. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
It happens today with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain and
Correct.
LeBron and Michael. And
oh, yeah. I mean, and it's hard, because the games change. The difference, like when Barry played and when I played and Hank and those guys, is that, was a knockdown pitch, because the first thing they would do back in the day, they would say, okay, we know this kid can hit a fastball because he wouldn't be here from the minor league. Well, let's see if he can hit a curveball. Then he hit a curveball. And then they say, let's see if he can hit a slider. And then here come a changeup, see if he hit this one. And then if you hit all those, then they would knock you down. No, they would not get you off the plate. They'd knock you down.
They made sure they get there.
Oh, yeah. And then there's a saying, let's see how he hits on his back. You know what I mean? And there was more intimidation. Yeah. But as a cost of the players and the salaries went up, the ownership was protecting their interests because they shouldn't, they couldn't afford for Barry or McGuire or Sammy, these guys to get hurt and lose that gate. Yeah. And so, it's just, it was different. I mean, I tell you, I had Altuve at my house last night, and he told me that these kids now are throwing the ball harder, and he says they're the movement on it, the sinker, the sweeper is more dramatic in throwing the ball up, and Altuve, all his life he's been seeing the ball up. Right. You know what I mean?
I don't know how you get to half.
Dude, hey man, I call him Mighty Mouse. So one day I called him. I said, hey man. I said, you Mighty Mouse. Me no mouse. I said, no. I said, dude, let me tell you. Do you know who Mighty is? He says, no, I don't know Mighty. So I said, you go home and look up Mighty. Yeah. Mighty was kicking them cats' butt. And he had all the little mooses and little girlfriends. I said, next day, oh, Mighty Mouse bad dude. I said, oh, yeah, he sure is.
I want to ask you another question about some of the guys that you've managed. Outside of Barry, we'll leave Barry out of this. I'm gonna ask you who's the best player that you ever managed. And I'm gonna say who I think it might be. Is it Carlos Correa? No. Carlos was bad.
Carlos bad dude.
Carlos,
yeah, but I had D. Lee.
Sacramento,
Lee.
El Camino, baby.
I mean, nothing against Carlos, but I had D. Lee. I had Ellis Burks. I mean, this cat was. I mean, Sammy Sosa.
Eric Lee almost won the Triple Crown.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, and I'm telling you, I have seen some. I mean, I had some bad dudes on my team.
Did you have Bryce in Washington?
Yeah, I had Bryce in Washington as a kid. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from him.
I get you.
Because I love Carlos. I mean, that's my wife's favorite player, Carlos Correa. I mean, and seeing he come up, kissing her butt, knowing. And look at me. And, he's in town. His birthday was yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, him and Jeremy Pena, their birthdays on the same day. And seeing, I love them dudes, man. Yeah. I mean, and me and the Latin dudes really had no problem getting along because I played in Venezuela, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. So, I understand their struggle too. And back in the day, the only way you got a single room if there was an odd number of blacks or Latins because they wouldn't rent a white dude and a brother in the same room. And so the Latins and the brothers had to live, most of the time down the ghetto, down the flat someplace. And I talked to Dorinda Aaron, who's Hank's youngest daughter. And Hank's kids were closer in age to me than I was to Hank. And so she was telling me about her godfather, Felix Mantilla, and that was Hank's roommate back in Milwaukee. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
You've talked a lot about the Astros recently. I know for us and for fans of Dusty Baker, that World Series championship you got, a handful of years ago meant a lot to us. What did it mean to you?
Well, actually, number one, I had come close half a dozen times.
Mm-hmm.
made one World Series, but it seemed like something would always happen, like in that championship series, and something would always happen. Seemed like in Game 6, because that was my nemesis. I'm trying not to think about it.
Goddamn Bartman! I knew Bartman was gonna. I knew Bartman was gonna come out.
But honestly, he always. I asked him one day. I said, "So how does this happen?" He goes, "Well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink." So it had nothing to do with the management. It had something to do with
just sometimes some. I don't blame Bartman at all.
Mm-hmm.
You blame Alex Gonzalez.
Come on, man. I tell you, you guys are cold, man.
Hey,
you tell the truth, but you're cold. Still cold.
Edit this out. We're gonna edit this out. We're gonna edit this out.
No, but I mean, I tell you, those were those were some fun times. I mean, and you think about it, and my dad, one of the last things he told me in the World Series of 2002, and after the game. Well, in Game 6, when we had the big lead, and then he told me, he said, "Son, like if you didn't win that one and the pennant tonight, I don't know if you're ever going to win one." And back in the day, the old dudes, they used to use negative motivation as incentive. Nowadays, you can't use negative motivation; it doesn't work. But that was my reasoning the whole time for keep coming back and managing, because I love my dad. My dad's my biggest supporter, but I, as a son, you want to prove your dad wrong. And that was on my mind. And then number 2, right after that, I thought about how I was going to win, number 2, and we damn near got back to the World Series the next year. Because see, the thing about it in Houston, we could have went to the World Series 4 years in a row, and we were at Game 7. In the ALCS, both times. ALCS. And so, I still got a little bit of energy left. Still got a little bit of incentive. That's why I'm taking. I'm going to Nicaragua. I'm taking Nicaraguan team to the WBC.
Oh, at WBC, that's gonna be fire too.
It's gonna be fun. And see, part of the reason is because. Nicaragua got a whole bunch of African slaves, that in Central America, period. And so I told my wife and my brother that, this is my Marcus Garvey World Tour.
I see you. There we go.
This is said about like winners a lot, because I asked you about what it was like to finally win that one. And you pointed out the ones you lost. Do you think about the ones you lost more than the one that you won?
Yeah. I mean, I think about the ones we lost because I in my mind, should have won like 4, realistically. And in my mind, if I just won 2, I'd probably just only been on 3 teams instead of 5, because because if you don't win it all, especially if you're a brother, you don't win it all.
I was going to say, Dusty, you're black. You still would have been on 5.
No. Well, yeah, eventually. I'm sorry, man. I lost my head there.
I say this all the time about 02. 02 was, I was 19 years old, 18 years old. And no, 19. But that Game 6, it just feels like there was nothing that could be done. Felix Rodriguez was lights out all year. And what was that? Probably about a 11 pitch at bat to Spezio.
Yeah, and he had him 1 and 2.
Yeah, and he just kept fouling.
No, but see, sometimes what people don't understand, I've been in Spezio's shoes. Sometimes I win. Everybody think your team's supposed to win all the time, and everybody think that the pitcher wins all the time, or they blame the pitcher. Sometimes, man, you got to give me some credit, because I wasn't up there just painting. And boy, that was some game. And and you think about Game 7, where a tough decision, where I chose Livan Hernandez because of his experience in the World Series and him winning games. But some of the teammates, just like we wanted Fernando to go in that series against the 1-game series against San Diego, against Houston, and the sort of chose the veteran goals. Well, in that decision, I was like, oh man, I wasn't sure who to pick, but some of the guys wanted me to pick Kurt Reeder because Kurt Reeder, his name is Woody, and from that cartoon character, and he got these big old ears that he loves. He can't help it.
They hear you right now talking.
Oh yeah, I better be quiet. So Woody wants you to rub his ears for good luck. And them guys, man, his ears all red.
My ears, brother.
But yeah, I feel like that there was nothing that could be done. Even Robnan, who had been lights out. Yeah. He was. We found out later he was pitching through injury, just giving everything he had to try and get it.
But something I look back on all this, man. If I had won a couple times before this, I would have told him, see you later. Even though I was on top and with the money, I mean, sometimes you get tired of mess. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That you can't say anything about. Mm-hmm. And so, maybe Lord didn't want me to leave yet because hopefully I influenced, some players positively and made a better life for their families. Yeah. And a lot of these dudes, I mean, they tell me now that how grateful they were. I mean, I don't think about it. I just think about doing my job or thinking about passing on what was given to me by the greats before me. Mm-hmm. I mean, anything I tell them, I tell these guys, I think, I got some of it from me, but most of it I got from, Jim Gilliam, Joe Black, Roy Campanella, Hank Aaron, Satchel Paige. I even played with Satch, in 68. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a trip. I was 68. He's called me Daffy. And I said, man, my name ain't no Daffy. He said, come here, Daffy. I said, you know what Daffy looked like? That little black duck on Donald Duck. He still called me Daffy. You know what I mean? So we had a good time. Right now we're drinking something that was for my mom. And my mom asked me, this is for my mom. My mom asked me, she says, I want a rosé. I said, Mama, we don't have a rosé. She goes, go get one. I said, Mama, we're supposed to get one. Talk to Chick. So Chick made this rosé for my mom, and she never got to taste it or drink it because she passed before. So this rosé was for my mom.
Cheers. I'm confident she would approve.
Fantastic too.
Since we're talking about the women in our lives, and Casey was bringing up 2002. How much trouble did you get in with Mrs. Baker when JT Snow grabbed Darren at home plate?
Well, she
it was bad when it starts with
There's two things. My mom used to tell me, quit cursing on TV. I can read your lips. I said, no, Mom, I wasn't cursing. She says, well, I read them lips. And you're embarrassing the family. That was that time. And then that morning she called me because Darren had been the bat boy a number of times. Mm-hmm. And he was only out there because I had cancer that winter. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to give him everything I could in case my cancer came back. Yeah. Once they tell you got cancer, man, you don't sleep right because it comes to your mind. And so she said, son, I don't think he should be the bat boy today. I said, oh, Mama, come on. She goes, you'll never listen to me. I said, Mama, he's done it. Barry Bonds said he's the best bat boy we got. Then when I saw him right out there, I said, oh, Lord. And then I get back.
Is that Darren? Was there a little competition?
Yeah, there's competition between he and this other little kid that we didn't know. So then I'm going, that's because all the kids are getting their dad's bats. Uh-huh. And Darren's dad, Darren told me, Dad, you don't do nothing but sit around. What do you do? That's what he told me. And so Sean Dunston's son got his, Barry Bonds' son got his, JT Snow's son got his. And so his designated guy was Kenny Lofton. Mm-hmm. And so he ran out there, and I got back to my office, phone rang. I said, oh, Lord, who's this? So I wasn't going to answer. That's how I better answer. I picked it up. Dusty, when your mama call your name like that. So, oh yes, Mama, what's up? I told her she wasn't watching the game. I told you don't ever listen to me. I said, hey, Mama. I said, the press is coming in. Oh no, they gotta wait. the press wasn't coming, but I was trying to get off the phone.
I'm just the Giants PR guy. Yeah, Dusty's talking to his mom right now. He can't come. He's gonna have to hang on, guys. The press corps from all over Major League Baseball is here, but Dusty's getting yelled at by his mom. Everybody, hang on.
Yeah, Peter Gammons, you're gonna have to wait. Right? He's talking to his mom. Right?
And I was.
That's an iconic moment, though.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
That is.
The only
That
thing
is
is,
one of the all-time
everybody remembers
moments.
it, but him.
He don't remember. How was he? About 4,
3.
Oh, he was little.
Remember it all, yeah.
He don't remember anything.
That's crazy.
What's he say when he sees it?
Huh?
Does he like? Have you ever? I mean, I'm sure you.
Yeah, he's
watched
seen
it
it.
with it, and
Quite honestly, I think he's kind of tired of seeing it.
I'd imagine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still cool.
And that's all. And then
we lost the game.
Mhm.
And what I remember as much as anything, Darren was crying. He was crying crazy.
Mhm.
And then
I
Leroy
remember
Hendricks,
until you carried him out.
who's the security for the commissioner, he was standing right beside me. And, yeah, he talked to Leroy. He's in town today with the with the commissioner, talking to the A's.
Okay.
And so Leroy's there right there, and then his favorite show was Bernie Mac. And so Bernie Mac was on like some talk show, and Bernie was talking about Darren.
Yeah.
But that boy was wailing. He don't even know what he was wailing about. And then so
He was balling.
yeah,
I remember
so I
that.
called Bernie. I said, Bernie, that boy knew what he was wailing about. He goes, did he really? I said, that boy said he knew, Daddy, I don't want them to win. That's all he kept telling me. I don't want them to win. And so my son got him on the phone. I said, look, Bernie, I know what I was crying about.
That's a classic.
Darren made his World Series debut and talked to Bernie Mac and has no recollection of any of it.
No, that's his man, Bernie Mac.
I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about this. You said Darren was 3. I have a 2-year-old daughter.
2 minutes.
I got a 2-year-old daughter. She turns 3 in November. Yeah, I might be with your mom on this. I can't imagine her going out being a bad boy, Dusty.
I know, but this boy went to the park every day.
He was there every day, the whole run. I remember
No, but
seeing
not only
him.
that, he would sit down and watch the whole game. I mean, by himself.
Yeah.
And he liked 2 things. He liked 3, Bernie Mac, watching games, and he liked listening to Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh,
that's
Lord.
my dog.
Oh,
That's what I like.
oh
Darren.
my
That's
God.
So I said, I'm like, really? So he was just sitting in front of the TV watching. I said, you know what you look at? Shh.
That's my boy Darren, man. We gotta get Darren up here, man. You gotta come talk
He
to
just
him.
got home yesterday. He's
Okay,
home now.
Okay.
He's right down the street too.
Yeah, we gotta talk to him.
Hey, Darren, what's bothering you today? The white man. The white man is bothering me. You got the ultimate line too. Mom, Barry Bonds says he's the greatest bad boy ever. Like, what's the problem? Hey, we're going to be at Baker Family Wines this Sunday at 1:00. We're going to be watching football. We're going to be drinking wines. There's going to be charcuterie boxes out there. There's going to be food trucks. If you've never been to Baker Family Wines, make your plans to make your first trip coming up this Sunday at 1:00. Chick, we appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having us on.
Dusty, we
Yeah.
appreciate
I gotta
your
come
time.
back, y'all.
Oh man, you open
The
invitation.
stories are endless.
Man, just walk
Anytime.
in that door anytime you want.
Anytime, just walk in, sit down.
Hey man, I got one thing. I was going by the Kings Arena yesterday, and I had my wife's truck picking up the Astros. Doug Christie walks out,
Mm-hmm.
and so I stop and I take my hat off. Doug, how you doing? He didn't recognize me.
Oh no!
No, I swear he just went, "Hey man, how you doing, brother?"
We're talking about.
Oh no,
We're gonna talk to him.
we're gonna fix that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna fix that.
back.
Oh yeah, he
No,
came out in
because
suit and everything.
no. Oh, we know exactly where Doug was leaving too.
Really?
Doug was leaving with us.
Yeah.
When? Yesterday?
Yesterday. We're gonna
He had the
FaceTime
gray
Doug
suit
right
on,
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I pulled up on the side. He's walking out,
We talk.
and he's with another brother. Is that the GM?
Yes.
When we close
Yes.
the show out right now,
Yeah.
we about to talk to him. Right
Yeah,
now.
we're gonna FaceTime
He's like, "Hey,
Doug
brother,
right
how
now.
you doing?"
We'll see y'all tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Sacramento Sports Leader.